Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. I have indeed missed you guys. It's true, I've really missed you guys. I want to start this analysis by first putting up a request that remember last year we did a fundraiser for Sarah. Now she's going through the process of treatment, but we're in urgent need of blood group O positive. So if you know you are O positive, and you're within Nairobi, kindly get to my WhatsApp number here so that we shall reschedule. I'll be in a position to cover your transport from wherever you will be in Nairobi so that we can donate, and you're willing to donate so that you can donate tomorrow. I'll be so glad. It's a very small support for the blood. O positive, really. If you're within Nairobi, I will be so glad for that. Back to politics. Since Sunday night, the word servers has been trending in Twitter. And if you're wondering why, then you need to sit back and watch this podcast because we are going to delve deep into the intrigues behind that trend. If you check, yesterday, there is what was shared by not yesterday, that is Monday morning. Ledama Olekina, Narok Senator, shared this screenshot you are seeing on your screen. And this is what is written there. The Venezuelans have been here for 3 weeks, booked in Kidero's hotel in Kileleshwa called Games, waiting to clean the servers, which has been really hard task for them, Katambe. Now, this is it's like a WhatsApp chat. If you look at the way it's been, the screenshot, something that has been forwarded, and then it has been forwarded many times. And now that is the conversation going on online about it. So when I was just doing my research today, one of our subscribers here also sent me this video. Now, if you check this video on your screen, is also a video of President William Ruto entering some joint. There is some music playing there, but I've just decided to remove the music because of copyright issues. Then it's probably getting into some hotel somewhere. I don't know whether that is it. But then I am sharing this, not probably that it is connected to the restaurant or what exactly is being said the other side. But it only depicts the fact that, whether lie or not, whether true or not, but Azimio seems to be running away with that narrative. They seems to be taking it away. This was shared, and if you look at nguo zenye president anavaa hapo, hizo ni nguo alivaa, I think the other day he was in his farm, back in Uasin Gishu. So if you check, you can see some connection, like it could be maybe the very day. Those who follow William Ruto's Facebook posts can really make up that. Now, from all of it, of course, we cannot fact check a couple of factors there, but Ledama Olekina is a member of the bipartisan team that is representing Azimio la Umoja. This kind of information coming from him Ledama is not the ordinary politician. I think amongst Raila Odinga's key allies, those who are trusted men, I think Ledama Olekina falls within that bracket. He was picked for the bipartisan talks. He's a member of that team. And I remember when Raila Odinga and the Azimio team met in Manzoni, that is the last Azimio la Umoja PG, Raila said that in respect to every other development going on, as far as the bipartisan route engagement is concerned, no politician is supposed to release any information or speak anything related to it or related to the Azimio demands apart from himself or without his own nod. So being that this information is coming from Ledama and it's shared in a tweet, actually that tweet has really attracted a lot of reactions. It cannot be taken lightly. There is something that is clearly being communicated here. This information is coming clearly, targeting a response from Kidero and actually asking whether Kidero should confirm that or not. It's a very strategic, and it has a bearing in Azimio la Umoja's engagement within at the bipartisan team. Clearly, if you ask me, I can tell you, so far amongst the demands that Azimio la Umoja is putting on table, the question of opening server, they are successfully running with that narrative for it to become a dominant factor in the negotiations. Now, why am I saying this? I've been trying to speak to, of course, offline with some subscribers here and the peers. You will realize that no one wants to hear about that Nusumkate thing. What Azimio la Umoja supporters wants to hear is when the servers will be opened. So the debate about server has successfully become a dominant factor. Remember, when President William Ruto made that maiden speech, when he climbed down, he actually dodged the question of server and talked about reconstitution of IBC and the other things. But in terms of the server question, he technically dodged it. Now, the bipartisan team has also been taking it. So there is a way Azimio la Umoja are insisting on it. In fact, I can tell you, it has become the dominant factor. The whole question about, or rather, the whole mandamano that was going on, I can tell you, one of the most emotive factor is that question of servers. So in this analysis, I want us to look at what will be Azimio's strategy with pushing the server question. Clearly, there is that which we have to look at. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our video. Now, if you look at what is happening, President William Ruto has insisted that everything must be done within the confines of the law, which, fine, no one says no. Of course, even if we had the National Accord of 2007, there's a way it had to be anchored within the law, and that was, we didn't do things kangaroo way. In fact, I'm even wondering when people say that I want us to be done in the law, within the confines of the law, and they made it look like it's the first one that at least there is that which cannot be done in the law. Everything has to be done within the law, because that is what makes it legit, or that's what makes it something very serious or formal. So when Azimio insists on the question of servers, and I want to say that this narrative is coming just to support, or rather to anchor that demand, because they know that this is something that borders legitimacy. And questions then start emerging about the server issue. Now, this is the probability, and this is what I'm saying, that with that, politically, divisions are going to be there in that bipartisan approach. Azimio la Umoja they have realized that Kenya Kwanza are plotting to collapse the talks. If you listen to what Rigathi Gachagua, the second in command, is saying, he is daring Raila to go back to the street. You know what? They are not preaching, or they are not talking about the ceasefire. They're talking about it's our way or you go back to the street. Now, what Rigathi Gachagua is saying is the voice of those Mount Kenya politicians in that bipartisan team. Probably they will come up. They have not come up with the figure or the people. And I have seen Azimio la Umoja very strategic on their wing, and we're going to look at that. Now, Kenya Kwanza could be plotting to collapse the talks. And the Azimio team wants that to be their strong point. So that if they come with clear mind that we will make sure that this talks doesn't go on, Azimio will hold into that server question, because you have to play to the game. If that is what they want, hold on the server question, so that if it collapses on this. Now, if that talk does not yield any fruit, but the point of difference is on the server question, then that gives it a very strong ground to speak to the audience, or rather to speak to the supporters, and go back to a route that William Ruto understands best, or a route that government would understand best. So that one I see as part of their strategy. Now, the other thing here is the question of server is triggering a debate that I really like, the Venezuelans question. I strongly believe that if you ask me, last general election was not clean. By all indications, last general election was not clean, just like that of 2017. The Venezuelans that were arrested at the airport and the drama around it really cast aspersions on the free and fairness of the last general election. Of course, we saw exchange between Chebukati and the police and the other investigative officers, but then at the critical moment, there was need to be ceasefire, and things were controlled and put under the carpet. To date, what Ledama question, the question, or rather the leaks by Ledama or Lekina, to me, it triggers a question, a debate on where did the Venezuelans go? That's number one. Number two, what was their role in the last general election? And now that they were supposed to be done, if they were deported, probably, maybe diplomatically they were deported. So did they still play that role? That's the question. Are they really the staff of Symantmatic, or rather the company that was giving us the IT? Did they do something? That to me is a question. I think when this, and I want to believe that, partly I want to blame the commission, because when this narratives will come out, those who can help us fact check is the commission. In fact, this is the right time then to tell us that after this is what happened. Probably we will know what happened to the Venezuelans after, when someone will be writing his book or maybe autobiography about a commission, maybe Wafula Chebukati or any other person. But it brings that question. The interesting bit here is when the debate about the server is here, and then someone is talking about deleting, this information is getting to the public, already feeding supporters. So what does it mean? If someone tries to play some junky propaganda on a server that has been opened, that results in this and that, of course, as me have already told their supporters that some people are being booked somewhere to seal it. So I also look at it at counter narratives and just try to stay steady. Click probably also showing that we have, maybe they are receiving such leaks. The server question will make the bipartisan table just expand beyond the IBC, the constitution. That to me is what I like. And that's what I've been insisting. And that probably is what Azimi is also looking at. That when you talk about the server, and it become in the middle, it's at the center of that table, it expands the IBC question to go beyond reconstitution of the commission and looking at the other commissioners. It actually brings the question of election management system. That is what, I think that is what Azimio team are pushing. They want answers into the question of servers. Should we get a legal framework? To what extent should a server be accessed? Where should the election server be placed? Should it be somewhere in the clouds, somewhere in the foreign country? Foreigners' involvement in election. In fact, we need to look at that. Foreigners' involvement in election. No, it is because of that the bipartisan team must lead us to a process that can solve all the answers. As to whether what Ledama Lokine is saying is the truth or not, it's a matter of time. We are waiting for counterclaims on the other side. Probably it's normally a counter versus counter, so you never know unless someone comes out and clears the air on this about this factor. That's my bold.